Alright, so I got a couple displays here for my Tesla Model Y. This is the instrument cluster display that goes in the front, obviously. And this one, I know there's no indication in the box, but this is a display for the rear so that the rear passenger have controls, climate controls. And yeah, I'm probably going to install this on the same day, you know, in one go. Kind of makes sense because they do plug into the same ODB port in the back, so yeah. So this one is for the rear, and so in the box what we have is some not really instruction. So the thing itself, oh, we got some piggyback cables here and some cable to control the front passenger seat. And that is, wait, you know what, let's pull this out. And that is it. This is the display itself. Obviously it doesn't have the vents and the USB ports here, so we're gonna have to transfer over that from the original panel, what have you, into here. So this one actually has way more steps to install. But yeah, but this is cheaper because obviously it's a smaller screen, less functionality. It only controls the climate and some other stuff. There's no CarPlay or anything like that, which is kind of useless anyways for the back. My kids who would be sitting in the back have, you know, their devices anyway, so they don't need entertainment from this thing. But yeah, anyways, it's interesting to see that there are no. Well, actually, let's just confirm that. Yeah, there are no tools provided. So it's a good thing that we get this from the other screen that we bought. We'd also need some screwdrivers. From what I understand, we do need some Torx screws, T20 and T10, to remove the vents and the USB from, you know, the original to this one. So be mindful of that if you're gonna get something like this, that you do need some actual tools to do the installation. But yeah, let's go install this now. Alright, so the first thing we need to do before we take apart anything in the car is to turn off the car itself. And so to do that, we go to car settings, to safety, and then at the very bottom we just press power off and then confirm it, then the car is off. Now we can go to the back and take apart stuff. Alright, so we need to remove this, so we'll use the stream removal tools to do that, and it should be pretty easy enough, although I haven't done before. You just have to be more forceful about it. Alright, to install the rear display, you know, we need this cable here. It only has one, so that's we can't make any mistake here. Now the challenge is we already have one here. This is for the front, so we're gonna double piggyback this. Now the challenge here is that, are we still gonna be able to close this? Do we have enough room to do this? Well, we'll just see after we do this. So we unplug that one. If we didn't have this, you can just, you know, we normally just plug it in directly there, but it's pretty much the same. Plug this here, plug this here. So you can see that there's multiple. Oh yeah, it seems like we can still do this by doing this. Yeah, it should still be possible. But anyways, what I like to do before we actually do, you know, the install is to test the device. And to do that, we just need to plug this in. Alright, so we found it. So this one here just plugs in to this. Okay, it seems to be working. I saw it lit up a little bit, but we need to turn on the car, and to do that we'll just apply some pressure on the front seat and turn on, and this thing is working. So we can power that on. So yeah, it looks to be working. You can go to the front here, but well, we'll see all this. Yeah, so it definitely is working. So we can turn off the car again and proceed with the install, since we know this unit is not defective. Next, we need to remove the vent here, which is supposed to be really easy. We just need to, where is it? We just need to pull it straight out like that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we just need to unplug this cable here, right? And then what we need to do now is work on this vent to remove it, and we can just do that inside a house. So let's go back to the house. Alright, so here's the vent. Let's go take it apart. The first thing we need to do is to unscrew those two screws there. We do have to unclip 6 clips here, like 3 on each side. 1, 2, 3, and then on the other side as well. 1, 2, 3. So you have to be careful. You just don't pull it out. But yeah, you can just. But luckily enough, this thing is plastic, so you can just bend it like so, and then do the other side. Then there's also some clips inside there. I think I can push it in with a screwdriver. Oh, this thing went inside again. There we go. That didn't feel good, but yeah, it's finally out. We also need to remove all of this, right? So, and this middle clips as well, because this doesn't have it, right? So let's do that next. So we need to unscrew these 2 screws here. These are T10. Oh, by the way, these are T20. The one we removed earlier is T20. This is T10, so we can screw this. And then it just slides out, and then we can pull this out. Yeah, we just need to. I think there's an easier way to do this. Okay, now that we removed all the stuff, we can just toss this aside. We don't need this, well, not toss it, but yeah. We don't need that anymore. So these are all the stuff that we need to move to our new display here. So we'll just go in reverse order and just install the clips. First and second thing we need to do is install the USB. There's some notches here that you can slide the board in, so they line up perfectly. So you can see that, you see the USB port just protrudes right there. I keep thinking there needs to be something, you know. No, we don't need to move that. Yeah, okay. Now we just need to screw this, where are the screws? We need the black screw for these ones. There you go. And now that we screw that in, the USB-C is actually not like protruding out. You know, it's pretty flush, and that's what we want. Now we can install this. So the screws are up here, and this tab that we need to remove because it just, you know, it gets in the way. So we'll actually have to permanently modify this vent by removing this tab here. We'll use some pliers or cutters like this. We just cut the plastic out. Yeah, so that's what we have. Now we should be able to slide this in. So it's in there now, and the vent is like, what is this? Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. All right, so we can screw that in. There you go. Everything's in there pretty solid. Yeah. Alright, so let's go back to the car. Okay, so we're back in the car now. So what we can do now is just shove this in there, right, the display. But before we do that, we need to grab this cable, route it from the bottom. Should be able to see it in there. See that? Yeah. So we can just keep pushing it up, and then at some point we can pull it out. All right, there you go. Yeah, so we can plug this in to the USB. We do have here at the bottom. So this is our vent. Plug it in there. So we're good there. Now we can plug this into the display itself, which is above here. Okay, now it's good. Then we just need to make sure is to move this cable below the vent like this, right? So because this thing will go inside that vent there, and so we want this to route around it. So yeah. And then we should just be able to push it in when we're done. Well, you know, kind of, but not quite. All right, so we still have this cable to contend with, and this goes to the passenger seat, which, so all we need to do is, you know, make it go underneath there. So, and then we have to like fish it out on the other side. Alright, so what I did was I moved the seat all the way back, and I should just be able to reach around and grab the wire. Alright, so I guess we can actually just, you know, brute force it. We're just gonna pull this down and pull that out with a pair of pliers, and then shove the piggyback cable in there with the pliers. Just be mindful, if you put pressure on the seat here, it will turn on the car, so try to avoid doing that, because you don't want it to turn on while you're working on it. There you go. And then we just push the cable inside like so, and this thing goes all. Just make sure this thing goes inside here, and yeah, I think we're fine. So we should just move the seat all the way to the front so we have enough room in the back there. Alright, so this thing is on. Let's go give that a try before we close everything up. So front passenger, no, go rear. Oh yeah. So we can move that so you can see it moving front and back, and then you can see it recline and unrecline. So good. That's good. Now we've tested that, we can just close everything up. Alright, it's in good. Oh man, that's tough, but it is doable. So let me, so it's in there pretty flush, you can see no visible wires at all. I'm very happy about this. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And then here, that's pretty cool too. So let's go give it a try. Let's rear display first. Well, first of all, let's remove that plastic over there. Yeah, and obviously we need to change the Fahrenheit to centigrade because we're in Canada. So to do that, we just need to hold the bottom left corner until this shows up, and then we can make some changes to the settings. So the driver is on the left, our temperature is Celsius or centigrade, obviously English is fine, and then GMT is 8 because we're in Vancouver. So yeah, and then I think we're good. Now there it is. So we are 21 degrees, which was the setting over there. You can change the fan here, wind. That's pretty cool. The only downside is obviously there's no, it's not like triple or quadruple zone, which I miss in my Audi. But anyways, so yeah, you can do that. You can change the volume for your media as well, for the entire car, that is, and skip and pause and play or whatever. You can lock the display so that nothing changes, and lock by pressing that same button again. You can turn off the display, so just black right now, and then when you tap anywhere it'll turn on. What else is here? Yeah, and then you can go on the rear mode. You can turn on the fan and off. You can turn on individual seats control, and adjust the strength, and then you can also close all the heated seats for all 3 chairs. You can also move the front passenger seat, so, and obviously it retains the original vent, so you do have a lot of you know, it's still the big vents as opposed to the other rear display that has a huge ass screen and really tiny vents. So obviously this is the original, so you have that, and this is also the original USB-C, so it should just perform the same way. What do you call this? Screensaver mode. It does this. It shows the clock. That's not the right time. Anyways, yeah, so that's the rear display. It's pretty cool. I went with this display because well, for one thing, it's cheap because, you know, it doesn't have the vents, it doesn't have the USB, it has a small display, and it doesn't have a lot of features. So that's why. All the other one, and it looks, the second, it looks pretty stock, right? Like, you know, it's not like there's a big ass screen that's out of nowhere. And the vents is still full size, like I said earlier. Okay, now the clock is almost correct. We're just 1 hour off, so anyways, I'll change that later on. But anyways, that's the reason why. And I paid 127, something like that, Canadian, shipped to Canada from China, obviously. So yeah, it's very cheap. I can, if you guys want, I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this display, and yeah, it looks